Everyone. I usually have Mary Ann here to introduce me. Ethan, do you want me to just get started and you'll mute people as they come in?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can get started.
All right.
Let me ping you.
I'll wait until you get everybody muted. And then if you're as you're coming in, everybody, and getting settled, just go ahead and mute yourself.
Did I mute you too? I may have.
Okay, I got it.
Cool.
And let me just say hello, welcome, Happy New Year. I'm Betsy Coyne. I'm so happy to be here with you again. I'd love to know, I'm going to ask you right off the top to look and see if you have the chat. Ethan and I were looking at our Zoom toolbars, and every now and then there's a little glitch that happens on Zoom, and the chat wasn't appearing, so he fixed it. Woohoo! But we did notice that we had to leave and come back in. So what I'd like you to do is use the chat right now and say hello and give me a yes or a no if you have been to one of my technology trainings before. Give me a yes if we've met virtually or in person. I don't know how many of you I've met in person, or give me a no in the chat if this is the first time. Say, no, Betsy, never met you before. So just go ahead and put that in the chat there. And if you don't see the chat, physically raise your physical hand. And if I see you raise your physical hand, I'm going to tell you that you need to leave. If you'd like to use the chat today, you need to leave and just come right back in. And Ethan will let you back in. Takes less than a minute. There you go. And it'll reappear when you get back in here. Just a little tiny glitch that happens from time to time here in Zoom. And so I thank you. There's nothing in the chat. So I was like, well, that means none of you have it. So
just leave the meeting.
Yep. Go ahead and click leave. And then just re-enter. Click the link again to get back in, and it'll be fixed. Okay. And then when you're back in here with us, welcome. And you do see the chat, go ahead, and I'd love to know whether you have been to one of my technology trainings here to teach you Zoom, all about Zoom. I'm Betsy Coyne. So I'd love to know, give me a yes in the chat if you have met me before here virtually on one of our webinar Wednesdays, and give me a no. Say no, Betsy, this is the first time.
I'm sorry, I've left and come back in, and my screen says chat disabled.
Yep, same here.
Oh.
Same here.
Same
Okay,
here.
I just took care of that, Ethan. I just took care of it. So now the chat's enabled. We've got lots of fun things happening.
There we go.
Okay.
First of all, it wasn't appearing. And then luckily, well, I'm co-host and Ethan is host. And there is a menu in the meeting that lets us turn it on and off. So it obviously came back, but it was disabled. So thank you so much. Now the chat is filling up with hellos, and whether you're here meeting me for the first time, no, you haven't met me before. And first time, never met you. First time, a lot of first timers. Hi, everybody. Well, then let me officially introduce myself, which Mary Ann normally would do for me. I am Betsy Coyne. I have been a technology educator and coach for almost 35 years. And I am a Zoom expert. So primarily when the world shut down in 2020, I brought my Zoom expertise to the real estate industry, and I have been a national speaker and teaching real estate professionals nationwide for the last 3 years. And so I am thrilled to be here. If you are using Zoom already, this is a great place for you to be, because I'm going to fill in some of the gaps that maybe you don't know have changed for the new year. And if you are brand new to Zoom, you're in the right place too, because the way I teach is as if you've never used it before. And I love to get you acclimated up to speed. And, Zoom is here to stay, really is. I talk to people a lot about how their audiences are more inclined to now want to show up virtually than in person. A majority want to show up virtually. And especially for, buyers and sellers out there, it's extremely easy to click a link and show up. And then if you're on the other side of the camera, you can give your information and grow your audience, which would be great, especially if you're in the middle of a transaction and you want to acclimate maybe the deadline dates with your seller. And you can certainly do that now. That's what I have to show you today. You don't necessarily have to be on camera with your sellers, or even if you're a broker here and you have a team and you want to keep up to date with them. Zoom has a brand new chat that you can do when you're offline. So I'm going to show you that today, new for 2023. So thank you again for providing our welcome text in the chat. For those just joining in, we're just discussing whether you're here with me for the first time. You may have been here on a webinar Wednesday before. Does anybody have any questions about technically what's happening in front of you? Maybe something doesn't look correct, normal. You can use the raise hand button, the digital hand, and then we will see that right away. It'll light up on our screens, as opposed to if you wave your physical hand, sometimes your video, your live video isn't quite right in front of us. So just keep track of that too. So it looks like we don't have any questions. Wonderful. Well, then I'm going to start in with some of this information that I put together for you, particularly in this new year of Zoom. I love the take on that, right? New year, new Zoom. We always think about what are we going to do for ourselves this year? And just a few weeks ago, Zoom updated. And I'm going to be talking about that, about how to keep your Zoom application up to date and how you can tell what version you're using right now as well. In addition to that, you can see this is Zoom's new logo that you see in front of you here, the screen that I'm sharing. And if you're on a mobile device today, just keep track of, you might have to swipe your screen to go back and forth from the shared screen that I just turned on to seeing me. So just keep that in mind as well. And yes, this is Zoom's new logo. So that's one of the things that's new for the new year, is that Zoom is becoming a business communication tool, not just for video conferencing like we're doing now, but a business communication tool. And so each of those O's there is a part of one of the services or products that they are offering now. And you probably aren't using all of them. I'm not using all of them. One of them is Team Chat. I'm going to talk about that today. Another one is meetings. We're in one now. Another one is events. Events and webinars are coming together. Event is where you would have thousands of people maybe attend your state of the market. Think about that. And you want to invite them all in and maybe have a lobby, a type of virtual lobby where they get to pick what room they'd like to go to. Maybe you have a buyer room and a seller room, or maybe you have listings by area or county. An event would allow you to do that. So it's a little more than what we're in right now, a meeting. And then some of the other ones are extra services that not every company uses, like customer service and Zoom Rooms. There's actually a feature called Zoom Room and things that use other types of equipment. But for the most part, I'm going to be talking about the major one, the Team Chat today. That's brand new. Now, in addition to that, some of the things that are new this year in Zoom that we're going to talk about today are the fact that you need to update your app. So Zoom updates regularly. And in order for you to have those new features, you need to update. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily going to the web and logging in. It means that on every device that you're using, you need to go and get the new application and install it. And I'm going to talk about that just as I go through this overview. I'll get in a little more detail on each of these. But like right now, we're in version 5.13, for instance, and I'll go through how you can tell what version you have. And I'm going to ask you what version you have. So in addition to updating the app on your computer, on your tablet, on your phone, you have to do it on each one. That's something that is definitely new. The other thing is presenting virtually. So as the presenter, like I mentioned earlier, if you have an idea to maybe present all your listings in a state of the market, or if you would like to bring in and have a virtual type of summit where you have experts come in, maybe the appraisers and the lenders can come in as well, and you can host this event. In order to present and present virtually, there are some new features you can do, and I'm going to be demonstrating that. You can actually have your PowerPoint, in a sense, behind you, and I'm going to show you that. So presenting virtually is one of the new features. There it is, chatting offline. So today, in here, let me know in the chat. I'm going to use that chat to get a sense of how you're using Zoom today. Are you on a computer or a mobile device? Give me a C for computer or an M for mobile. C for computer would be a laptop or a desktop, or an M would be for a phone or a tablet. And the reason I ask is because the way you see Zoom in a live meeting like this looks different on depending on the device. And more than that, if you were to, so I see a lot of C's in the chat coming up. That's excellent. So anybody using a computer, and if you're on a mobile device, you're doing fine too. But if you're on a computer, I want you to get your phone near you, and I want you to look and see if you have the Zoom app. And if you don't, by the end of today, I would love for you to download it. So if you're on an Android phone, Samsung, HTC, LG, go to the Google Play Store and look for your Zoom Meetings app. And if you're on an iPhone, you're going to go to the App Store and you're going to download the app there. And I know phones can be very distracting. So as you pick your phone up, put blinders on and get yourself right to that app store so that in case you have a question about something you see, and while I'm here with you today, you can ask me a question in the chat about that. But you're going to go in and look for the Zoom app and then download it. I don't need you to do that and have it for this webinar today. We're online, this Zoom meeting, but I do want you to see if you have it, and if you don't, go ahead and get it. And the reason for that is one of the brand new things. Thank you, Anita, for letting me know in the chat that you got it. One of the brand new things in Zoom for 2023 is that, remember that new logo I showed you? Well, part of being a business communication tool is that you can use the Zoom app to chat with your colleagues, your team, your clients when you're not on camera. And it has in there a team chat. So if you do have it and you already have it, thank you for letting me know that. You can go into the app and notice that on the bottom, there's a button for team chat. And there's also a button for contacts. So there is this way of connecting, just like we would do maybe in Facebook Messenger, you can connect in here. And I love that because not everybody that I do business with is on Facebook. And they can just get a free Zoom account and I can connect with them here. And then while we're connecting, if we want to see each other, we can take the chat and then say, hey, you want to get on Zoom and have a face-to-face, just like we're sitting across the table from each other. And it's really easy to go from a chat to video. So that's definitely something that I want you to put at the top of your list is the offline chat. Another thing that we will be talking about today is video. So, I call it breakout video because in Zoom, what sets Zoom apart from the rest is breakout rooms. And when you are hosting one of those events, like I mentioned earlier, whether it's a state of the market or you're a broker and you're having your team in, or I teach a lot of instructors, real estate instructors, and they need to have a sales room, a law room, and a math room so they can have people come in and maybe ask questions about those separate areas if you're in pre-licensing. If you are meeting with prospective buyers or sellers, you can have a buyer room or a seller room. So these breakout rooms are extremely valuable as a Zoom user. And now you can share video to it. So you can be in your main room doing the presentation, and no matter what room people are in, they can see your video from the main room. So I'm also going to show you one of the videos I use in the Zoom waiting room. So when people are coming to your event, like you were today, you were hanging out in the waiting room, you can show this video in the waiting room, and you could actually put a video of your listings in that waiting room. And so while they're waiting, they're watching the video and getting some information. And then finally, I'm going to talk about live streaming. And so one of the things that's so great about Zoom is that you can present in here and then click a button which lets you go live to Facebook. And if you have a Facebook group, let's say, or a Facebook page, a business page, or even your personal timeline on Facebook, there's a button that lets you go live there. And it's incredibly valuable because in here in Zoom, you might be limited to the number of people that can come in here. But when you go live to Facebook, you're going live to thousands, tens of thousands, maybe close to 1 million, depending on who's on at that time. So you pick the right time and your exposure grows exponentially. So that's another thing we're going to talk about today. So let me just check the chat here and ask you, what is on your list, your New Year wish list for Zoom? What is in your new year? And just let me see if there's any questions, and then I'm going to demonstrate some of the things that I was just talking about. So Maria, see your name on which list. You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question.
There was a list of people that are attending, and my name wasn't on it.
Oh, okay, for today?
Yeah, for now. But
Oh,
other people answered your question and their name came up, like Marilyn, the other people that answered your questions, their name came up in their response.
oh, okay. Oh, I see yours now. So it's working now. So maybe part of our little glitch before maybe made it didn't come up. Or maybe you got in there so quickly and then everybody else answered and your answer may have just scrolled off the screen. So that's possible too, why you didn't catch it right away. But thank you though for asking that. Okay, so if you recall, so there's no other questions. Anybody want to contribute maybe a wish list goal for Zoom? You can just use the raise hand digital button. Anybody want to contribute? Maybe if you're a seasoned Zoom user and just now I just gave you a total mind blown because you're like, oh my gosh, I can use the Zoom app on my phone to Zoom when I'm not on camera. Anybody? Okay. No pressure there. I'm going to wait. There's going to be something that comes up. So I'm going to take you back here and I'm going to do a little demonstrating about how you can figure out what Zoom version you're using right now. And to do that, I'm going to also demonstrate something which is called using your PowerPoint as your virtual background. So now watch what happens here. I'm going to go in here and choose a PowerPoint. You can't see that I'm doing that now. I see it on my screen, but the share screen doesn't show that part. All I'm doing right now is I'm picking one of my PowerPoints. And I know I'm kind of freezing a little bit too. Hopefully that doesn't keep up. And what happens here as it's preparing, there it goes. It brings up there it goes. So it's just like a little bit of time. See, there I am. So it brings up my PowerPoint as a virtual background. So I can actually talk to my slide as opposed to the other way that I was just sharing. Whoa, this way of sharing your PowerPoint, that's my PowerPoint slide right there. So I put together some PowerPoint slides because I wanted to teach you how to find that. You see right there, it says the version. That's your version number. Right now, you can figure that out. And the way you're going to go find that is using that. If you look up there in the very top corner of your screen, now this is my PowerPoint slide, but up further is a green shield. See the little tiny green shield with the check mark? That's on your screen too. So if you click on that, actually, I see it right now. And ours for today's meeting is amber. It's an amber colored shield with an exclamation point. And the reason it's amber colored is because someone right now present in our meeting is on the phone, which is okay. But Zoom gives you a green shield if there's total security. And it's not that we're not secure. It's just that in the world of Zoom with secure data going back and forth, if everybody was on the computer app, we would satisfy that. But with the phone, it doesn't satisfy that. So that's why it shows amber. Okay, different subject. If you click up there on that shield, oopsie, and then you're going to see, let me go back. There you go. You're going to see this screen. It's not going to say real estate party. That's my screenshot. It's going to have today's meeting. It's going to say new year, new Zoom. And then you see right next to it, there is that gear symbol. Sometimes people say, let me get my finger in there. Sometimes people say it looks like a little daisy wheel. That gear, that's going to bring you to your settings. And when you get there, it's going to look like this. And you're going to be on statistics. And by the way, this is for people who are on computers. If you are on your iPad, then you're going to find this information at the top where it says Zoom at the top. Get my fingers off the screen there. You might have to tap your mobile device screen to get the word Zoom to come back. And then you'll see this so that you can go in there and look at that. You can't get to settings from there. So for the mobile device people, you're going to go to the menu on the top right where it says more ... and then you're going to see meeting settings from there. So just to get everybody into the right spot so that you can see what your version is. And I'd love for you to tell me in the chat, what version number do you see there? So it says next to statistics if you're on a computer. And if you're on the mobile device, it's probably in the App Store in the mobile device. You probably have to go out to your App Store and go back to where I told you to search for it in the App Store, and it'll tell you the version there. Mobile, it's not as important. Really, seriously, mobile, it's not as important. And the reason for that is most of the features that I'm demonstrating today, the virtual background, the PowerPoint, all of that you're going to do from your computer. You really are. The things I told you to wow you about with your phone and the app, you're going to use when you're going around in your day and you're mobile and you're not presenting and you want to connect with people. You're going to do that from your mobile. But when you're presenting, I would grab that laptop and or desktop computer and present from there. So thank you to those who have contributed the 5.11, 5.12, 5.11, 5.12. What I'm going to advise you to do when today's over is you're going to go and update your Zoom application for this computer that you're on, because you're about 2 versions away from the current one. And some of the features that you might see me demonstrate today won't be available until you update. So thank you for that. Beautiful. So there you go. I'm demonstrating a virtual background, and I want you to think about this for a minute. Now, this is what I teach. Oh, there it is. I teach computer applications. And so my pictures are pictures of the screen. And this is a picture of your Zoom app on your computer. So if you go down to that bar that's across the bottom, this is for computer people. If you go down to the bottom of your screen and you see the Zoom app icon, you can just click there. And this is mine. You can see the screenshot with a picture of me. But this is the Zoom app. And across the top, you see the team chat that I talked about and the contacts. If you're on a mobile device, what you're going to do is you're going to tap your screen, and there is a left pointing arrow in the top left corner, and then you can get back to that screen there. Just important to know that this is the screen where you're going to connect with your contacts, and that's across the top. You can see that you also have a screen with all of your meetings that you schedule. So you have your own scheduler. And then at the very top, the very, very top, you see that there are buttons: home, mail, calendar, team chat, phone, meetings, and so on. And each of those brings up a different part of the Zoom app. But this is where I want to end with that. Okay, this is just a stock photo of a home. Oops, I have to remember it's over here. Think about what you can do with this. If you put together a PowerPoint of all of the maybe listings that you would like to demonstrate in a presentation, and then don't put any animations, just on each slide, put a photograph, and then use in here, I use the feature called PowerPoint as virtual background. And then you can be as close as I am to the image when you're demonstrating. It's just a brand new look rather than being in that little thumbnail. And I see, Maria, you have a question. Where do you find your version? So are you on a computer, Maria? You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'm on a laptop.
Okay. So on a laptop, do you see in the upper left corner, there is a tiny shield, tiny little shield icon, and it's like amber colored or maybe an orange color?
Yes.
Go ahead and click there.
Okay.
And then in the box that comes up, it says New Year, New Zoom. And in the top right corner of just that box, there's a tiny little gear symbol. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Good. Go ahead and click there.
Okay.
And now you'll be looking at your settings. And down the left-hand side, does it say statistics?
Yes.
Beautiful. So now on the right side of the screen, what does it say next to version?
Oh, okay. Version. It's down at the bottom. 5.11.1.
Beautiful. Excellent. Well done.
So that's how I know.
So you'll after today, you don't want to do it now. If you were to update while you were in a Zoom, then you would lose connection until it finished updating, and then you'd have to come back in. But that's all. But yeah, it only takes a minute or two to update. It's a really good idea to update every time before you come back in to present or meet with your clients or whatever the task is.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Okay, wonderful. So let me take you, are there any questions, by the way, on what I've shown so far, which is finding your version, using PowerPoint as the virtual background? That's one thing we would all have to practice is right now, that's virtual. And so I can imagine that it's right there. I don't see it right there, but it looks pretty good on the screen when you're pointing that way, as opposed to being up there in that little square. So yeah, pretty neat. Okay, beautiful. Let me take you now to the next one. And the next demonstration I have for you is also going to be virtual. And this one is, so it's preparing itself right now. There it goes. So I just brought up a different PowerPoint. Now look at this. I can move myself to the other side. Okay, so now you're over there. So what you're seeing behind me, what you're seeing behind me is a screenshot. I took a screenshot of my Zoom screen. So along the bottom are all the buttons. Isn't that neat? Right there. There they go. All those buttons. And over there, you see the menu. It says live stream, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. There are two others, live on Workplace for Facebook and live on Twitch. And Twitch is more for gamers who want to incorporate Zoom with that. Twitch is a platform I don't use for my business. And the other one, Workplace by Facebook, that's if you have people who work with you, who do your ads, and you use the Workplace app. It's a separate application. I don't use that for my business either. So when I come in here, I use either live on Facebook or live on YouTube. And when I choose live on Facebook, this is what happens. I wanted you to see this, to see how easy it is. There we go. So right there, move my finger, right there, these three options. You can go live to your personal timeline. So if you're connected with a lot of your friends in business, a lot of your former buyers and sellers, and they have friends, right? Everyone that we've done business with, that we're connected with, we might be talking to and seeing on Facebook. So you might decide to choose your timeline. But in that same menu, there's also share to your page, and you can have a Facebook page for free. So actually, most of this you could do for free and go live, do your demonstration with your state of the market, and that video will stay out there on your page. The last one is share to a group. You do have to set the group up ahead of time. Some people do this. They have maybe a private group where people are admitted based on maybe some relationship that you have with them. Maybe you've exchanged emails, or because you don't want to let maybe anyone in. So some people do that too. And it's extremely valuable. So you can use live stream to Facebook or YouTube. You have a YouTube channel. You can be live here in Zoom, use the features I'm talking about, and go live right to your YouTube channel. And again, that will stay there. That video will stay there, and it has a link, and you can share it out to people. It's really, it's where I go. I start here on my Zoom camera. So I can use my virtual backgrounds that I have. I love the filter that Zoom uses. I love the lighting, all of that. And then I can take this recording and go live to one of those social media platforms. Any questions on that feature? This one isn't as new, I'm going to say, for the new year, in that the feature has been there. However, this feature, to use this for business, the fact that people out there want stuff remotely, they do. They want to see you. They want to hear you. They want to see video. They want you coming right to them on their screen. And so this is one of those that that's why I put it on the list. It's really should be at the top of your list, right under the team chat. All right, great. So I don't see any questions on that. I'm going to demonstrate the next one, which is also in a virtual. And these are those contacts that I was talking about. So this is where I'd like you to take out your phone. And for those who said that you had the app already, open that up. If you don't have the app, you can just watch on the screen. When you go in the app, this is how you're going to set it up so that you can keep in contact with people remotely when you're not on camera. And to get that started, though, you don't need their phone number. You need their Zoom email address. So, like, for instance, if you wanted to connect with me in my Zoom app. Now, here's the thing. My email address, just like many of us out there, you could have multiple email addresses. I'm going to put mine in the chat. So Betsy's Zoom chat is bcoin and then my company name is pcmactechnology.com. So you see that there in the chat. And go back to your phone, and like it shows here, you're going to click on where it says contacts. And at the very top there, there's a plus sign. So this is from my iPad. If I go to my phone and I go to contacts, the plus sign is at the very top. And when you tap there, it says invite a Zoom contact, and you put in that email address. And what it does is, you might be thinking, well, I have the Zoom app, Betsy, but I don't see these options because maybe you're not logged in to your Zoom app on your phone. So it does take a Zoom account on your end and then a Zoom account on the other end. Maybe you want to keep in contact with some people who you typically, you would text them on their phone, but maybe you don't have that relationship with them yet. Or you want to have the ability to just not only text with them, but then go live on a Zoom. And you're right there. Once I have it in once I have you connected as a contact, and I don't mean you today, but once I have the people I do business with connected, look, here's an example. I have a chat thread and I can send pictures. I've done this with people. I answer their tech questions and I send them video of me. I answer the question in video right here in the app. It's beautiful. And then if they're saying, well, could you just hop on a Zoom with me? You can see, there it is in the top corner. There you go. In the top corner, there's a little tiny video camera icon. And when you click there, you can go it starts a Zoom with the person or people, if there are multiple people in this chat. I'm telling you, it's wonderful. Does anybody here with us today, anybody using it already? Just give me a yes in the chat. I'd love to know if someone came across this. It's been out for the time, since you last updated. So I can tell by the version numbers, if you didn't have the most current version, you may not have come across this yet. So I can't wait to hear from you to find out what you thought about it. It's really, for me, definitely new feature for the new year is connecting. So are there any questions on that part, on using the team chat to connect and do Zoom when you're not on camera? Yes, thank you. So I'm looking in the chat. I just saw, had to restart my laptop. Which app is this? Okay, hi, Kenny. So right now I am in the Zoom application. I'm in the Zoom app. Because actually, I usually say that this is from a computer, but this screenshot is from my iPad. So there you go. In the top right corner there, or the top left corner, sorry, where you see that FS, that's my test training account. And down that sidebar, Kenny, you can see home and then team chat and meetings and contacts. This is from the iPad. If you pick up your phone and go to your app store and look for Zoom, some people have it already, and open it and log in. You would have to log in with your Zoom account. Those same buttons are across the bottom. So it says, same thing, meetings, slightly different icon, meetings, team chat, contacts, and then there's a more button. So whenever you're on your phone, it's a smaller screen. And so sometimes the whole menu doesn't show up the same way because it can't, because the screen is smaller. So anybody today, I know I saw some M's in the chat earlier that you're on a mobile device. If you're on a phone, welcome. I love the fact that you are listening in or even using the app to attend today. I love that. The only thing with a phone is that the screen is much smaller. So in order to see this presentation, you might not be seeing everything all at once. And so you might want to watch back. Let's see, I don't know. Yeah, we're recording today. So I know Marianne always says that these recordings are placed in your members area. So definitely look for that. I'm sure Ethan can talk to that too if anybody needs more information on that. Yes, there you go. Excellent, Kenny. Thank you for answering that. That you found it, or kind of acclimated you to where we're at. That's why I bring it today to you, because this is brand new for the new year. It is really how Zoom is becoming that business communication tool. I'm not even mentioning today, there is a whole area called whiteboards. If you wanted to demonstrate, like, let's say, remember before remote and everything was done in person, and we would sit across the table from our client or the person we're doing business with, and we would have maybe a whiteboard. Sometimes I've always taught technology, and when I went to someone's office or even residence, I would bring a whiteboard with me, sometimes a handheld one, like a small one that I could draw concepts. Well, Zoom has a whiteboard that is digital. And once you get this app all set up the way I'm discussing today, you can then create whiteboards and collaborate with those people you've connected with. So, let's say you want to engage with a prospective buyer or seller, you could certainly utilize these types of multimedia to do that. It's excellent, rather than just using the texting. So you really appeal to more audiences when you can use video and sound and whiteboard and drawing tools and things like that. That's what's here. It's here. That's when people ask me, really, you're still teaching Zoom? Is Zoom still here? Yeah, Zoom's not going anywhere. It's actually growing. And the more we embrace it and learn to use all these features as part of our normal day, just like we pick up something off of our desk, I think we're going to meet a bigger audience out there, because we're going to meet with people who want to be remote. They want to be virtual. They love that ease. So excellent. Thank you so much for those questions. Any others before I come off of this topic of the Zoom app? Just have some video to show you then. Excellent. All right, so now I take you away from this virtual, and I'm going to take you to a simple video that looks like this. And let me just pause it a minute just to see. I'm not really sure if there's any sound in this one, but the point of this video, now I doctored it up with the text. For today, I wanted you to make the connection that, breakout with video is new for 2023. That if you put together a presentation, I grabbed, this is stock video. So I grabbed stock video. You would have your own video of your listings. You would make that video, and then you would put it together and show it inside of Zoom like I'm doing now. And you can even show it when you have breakout rooms. So I can be in here. I could have all of you in your own breakout rooms and show this video to all of you at the same time. And if you've never done a breakout room, it's really something that you should let me know in the chat. I would love to know if you are interested in learning breakout rooms. We've done them before here. I've come to the webinar Wednesday and we've done them here. I've had you go to a breakout room and experience that. So if you'd love to learn that, I'd love to know that, because Marianne and I, when we come up with ideas for the next one, when it's tech related, like I do, I'd love to know. I'll bring it to you if that's an experience you'd like to learn more about. But this video, I'm playing this right now inside of the Zoom meeting. And if I were to put you in breakout rooms, I could show you there, or I can have this playing in the waiting room prior to you coming in. So if I've invited you to my event and I've told you what time it's going to start, and just like many of you today, you click the link a few minutes early, and we could see you there in the waiting room. So you were sitting there waiting for us, and I can have this video playing while you're waiting. And of course, this is for me, because I I want to tell you about some of my latest training. But if it were you, you can think about what you would put in there. You could tell them about what new is coming their way from your office, for instance. And it's just something I love. Video in the waiting room or video in the breakout rooms. And it doesn't have to be doctored up like this. It can be something as simple as, I'll take it out like this. Here it is. Here's the raw video. And again, this is stock video that I grabbed. But this could be you talking into the camera, giving them a public service announcement, so to speak. It's wonderful. And this video, again, can be inside the meeting here when they're in here with you or in breakout rooms, or it can be in the waiting room. It's really video. Everybody wants video. They want to see video in your social media. They want to see video in inside your meeting room, in your presentations, in your PowerPoints. And so can't go today without mentioning it. Extremely important, the use of multimedia. All right, so thank you, Jayshree, for wanting to learn breakout rooms. So yes, just put it in the chat there, and I'll save the chat. And if there's a large interest in it, we'll create it the next time I come back. Or I wanted to actually, upon ending, I can also tell you more about breakout rooms. You can contact me on the side as well, because I have a special discount code for you that I wanted to share. I was expecting Marianne to introduce it, but with her not here, I will, since we're almost at an hour, let me just bring you here. I also want to open it up to questions, and then I'll show you I'll put the link in the chat for the training that I have on all Zoom. I have a training program on Zoom Mastery. And so this is the information. If you wanted to get in touch with me, there is a QR code there at the bottom and a special discount code that I put into place for you to save. And I'll put the link in the chat in case you that thing with QR codes. You see that QR code there? It's one of the greatest things. Again, if you'd like to know QR codes, put that in the chat, because that can lead people to your website. And if you've seen other people do it and you're like, oh, I got to learn that. QR codes, there you go. The link is in the chat there in case the QR code's not working. QR codes. Okay, I'm going to just show you, if you're new to it, how you use it. So today I'm providing you one. Pick up your phone, open up the camera. You're not going to take a picture of it. You're just going to open up the camera and aim it. Just aim your phone camera at the screen. You're not going to take a picture of it. And what happens is it lights up and highlights it, and it says tiny URL. And then you just tap on it, and then it just comes up on your phone. So you could, in making QR codes, this is like a non-Zoom thing that I'm going to end you with today, is you can actually make a QR code for your website that you want people to go to. And as long as that website is always the same, you could even have that printed up on a sign. And anytime people come across the sign, wherever it is, they just aim their phone right at the QR code. They don't have to type it in, and they get navigated directly to your website. Anybody out there using QR codes already? Just give me a yes or physical hand, a nod. Yeah, I see you. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Wonderful. I mean, anybody out there love them as much as me? Yes. It just makes it. Yeah, I see the yeses coming in the chat. Yeah, right? We want them to be so easy to get to our information without having to open up their browser app on their phone and then having to type it all in. And you just aim it at the QR code, and Yeah, and I even made it color coded today to match all the text on the screen. So, it doesn't have to be black, which you normally see them black and white. All right, so I'm going to open it up here for any questions on anything that I showed so far. You can obviously go to that website. I have that course, that coupon code is down at the bottom. Definitely take a picture of this whole screen if you want to remember that coupon code, and that'll save you 30% by the end of the week. You can actually use it. It expires on Saturday. So I have a full self-paced training course on how to use Zoom. And if you want to be able to learn from me in your, slippers at night when the day is end and you want to just binge watch all the different kinds of videos on how to do things. I had somebody ask me the other day when they heard that you can actually do remote control in Zoom. Like I can gain remote control if I'm on with somebody one-on-one and they're having difficulty on their end. I can actually ask them permission and have a remote control session. She's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, oh, you got to get my training. There's all the you just search for it and you get the answer to it. So it's what I love to do. So let's see, any questions on every ad ever made? Okay, so yes, Kenny, I see a lot of yeses to the QR codes. That's great. I may bring that back. I'll have to ask Marianne. I don't just teach Zoom. I teach all kinds of tech. Anything tech related. You can ask me any tech question right now. I teach anybody using Google Forms. I teach that as well. A great way to gain information from your audience. And again, a simple link, and all they have to do is fill out all your questions, and then all that information is sent back to you. Even while you sleep, it stays out there and live all the time. So technology woven into every aspect of our lives. It's everywhere. And so I love it. So any questions? I'm just going to go back, and we have about 5 minutes left. Let me go back here and do a little review for you. There we go. So as you can see, today we updated the app. Talked about updating the app and what version you have. We also, I showed you how to present virtually and using the share screen in Zoom. Use a PowerPoint that you don't have any animation, because it's going to bring the slides in with those static images that you saw over my shoulder. We talked about chatting offline. So now you've got the app. You could certainly ask me a question right now about the app. We certainly have the time for that. If you're trying it and you want to connect with me, my email's in the chat. And we also went through a breakout video, and that's for you to break out your video. Bring video into your Zoom. You can share it to breakout rooms. You can even use it in your waiting room. And then I talked about live streaming. So once you set up this Zoom meeting and you present the way I did today, start your live feed into your Facebook group. And I saw earlier, yes, you can have a business page. So if you don't have any of these, you can go and start one today. Start a Facebook business page if you don't have one already. They're free. And then you can connect your Zoom live to Facebook and go live to your Facebook business page, to your personal page if you want, or to a Facebook group. All right, so thank you. I'll stay on if somebody wants to ask me a question. I'll stay on for 3 minutes. Other than that, thank you so much, everybody, for coming today to learn something new about Zoom. I love that. Absolutely love it. And again, if you want me to bring up my contact information, feel free to send me an email and or text me. My cell phone number is there and my email as well. And I'm more than happy to answer a question that way too. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. And I will look forward to the next time that we're together. And then where do I get the link to see the class again? Ethan, do you happen to know? I'm gonna put you on the spot and ask you to.
Yeah, I can, let me send that in the chat real quick.
Okay, excellent.
But it's on lirealtor.com. We'll get the specific link in 1 second here.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's you're like I guess you have a member portal or a members area. You can get access to the replay there. And any other questions? I think I answered them all as we went through. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so take a look at the link in this chat if anyone needs it. It's under education on lirealtor.com. You have all of our past webinars. Yeah, there's a bunch of old videos that Betsy did on maybe some outdated features of Zoom, but just some good information in general. And this will be up later this week if you want to watch it again.
Oh yeah, good point, Ethan. Most likely the breakout rooms one is there. So
yeah.
Right. Granted, it doesn't record when we were in breakout rooms.
They were a little while ago, but
yeah, but it has me talking about it. So that's a really good point. You can definitely, I know I demonstrated how to create them and then how I sent you to them. And then Leofred asked about my contact information. That's on the screen right now. So if you're on a mobile device, you can just swipe the screen. I'll leave that up. You can text me, email me, and then there's your coupon code. If you are interested in getting some training, I put that together just for you. So thanks. And so Lois, I just logged in my laptop and asked to update. Awesome. So it looks like, I love that when Zoom prompts you to update when you're coming in. Actually, I set my Zoom account up that way. So when people join with me, I'm here today as a co-host, but when you come into mine that I host, I set my Zoom up that way. So it prompts everybody to update on their way in. So, all right, you're very welcome, everybody. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you again soon.
have a good one, everyone.
All right, take care.